Hi, welcome to Messy Missy Creates. This is Melissa. Welcome to the week 2 of April. Is inspired to create _2023 is the hashtag. It's our prompt challenge. The prompt challenge that Allison and I are doing. Allison from AJ's Inspired Life. And this is going to be probably coming out just a hair late, but I usually post it in the morning. I'm hoping it's going to post in the afternoon. And because I did not get it finished before I had a dental procedure yesterday, and you did not want me doing my video afterwards because I crashed. Anyway, I am, and you did not want me talking with a numb mouth for sure. So, because it would not have been legible yesterday, that's for sure. And I was a little stumped getting these prompts together. I would have done it the day before. And let me show you what the prompts are. Let's see. This is the week. Last week, Alice and I, we picked our own prompts. That was Easter. That was the word. This week's word is, we've got to have a train. We always have to have a train. I don't mind the sounds of trains. I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's just me. Maybe it's just me getting used to it. But anyway, let me put these up here and make sure you can see. So this week's word is bunny. And yes, I chose this week's word. I know you're shocked. But I chose 2 of the words and she chose 2 of the words this month. And I know that just shocks you, right? There had to be a bunny in it. I'm sorry. There just had to be. So, now I had... If you saw my video from, where did it go? Here, bunny. Well, anyway, last week's word was Easter, and it did have a bunny in it. This one's not going to actually have a bunny in it, but the word is going to be bunny. So, let's see. I'm going to see if I can do the rest of it with this marker. Actually, I'm going to write it first. I'm going to cheat, and then I'm going to write it with the Posca pen. We have book page. Hope you can see that in pencil. Do I need to zoom you in a little bit? I'll zoom you in for a minute, and then I hope I don't forget to unzoom you. Book page, unravel. Yeah. Can I put myself on this page? Because that's the only thing that came to my mind when I was thinking of unravel. But anyway, actually that's not entirely true. The first N word is navy. The second one is necklace. And Y is yard. Now, it's always funny. I think it's funny. Ironic funny. Which word? There's always one that stumps you. I think that's probably true for everybody. Sometimes it's 2, but definitely 1 for sure. And yard. Well, yard and navy were hard for me. Unravel, book page was easy. Necklace was even easy because I had just come across a cool necklace in a magazine page. How to use it was a little tricky. It still is tricky because I haven't used it yet. All right, I'm going to unzoom you now and try not to make you too dizzy in the process. And let's make sure I have my lights. I have my cord out of the way because I forgot that in another video recently. Anyway, and I know I haven't been putting out too many videos recently. Thank you for your patience on that. Well, I'm assuming you were patient with it because, well, what choice do we have, right? Anyway, all right, I'm going to write these so that maybe you can see them. This is one of the fatter Posca pens, and so I have a little trouble writing with it sometimes. Let's see, unravel. Twine comes to mind, and I'm going to show you what first came to my mind on all of them. And then, but we know that when you actually go to put them on a page, that's not always what you end up with. It's not always the first thing you think of or plan to use. That's not always what tends to end up on the page, right? In that cute little bunny, it says Egg Patrol. I love these note cards, or what do you call those? Not note cards, but you know, these things. The tablets with the magnets on the back. I have one for every month. I think I've already told you that back in March. I probably told you that back in February. Anyway, so I struggled with Navy and Yard. Not necessarily ideas for them, but not sure how to use them on a page on, yeah. If I wasn't, let me get my stuff. Okay, let me show you this first. Okay, book page is easy, right? It's a book page, okay? And it's going to be my background, so I don't know how much is going to show up on it. I did start trimming it a little bit. I kind of, in hindsight, wish I had trimmed a little off of every page. It doesn't matter, right? It's going to be my background base for my page, so I actually can move my journal now, but you know, I wanted to take all the opportunities to show you my cute little bunnies, because you know, they're only going to last through the end of the month. And I thought, oh, April's going to be the month that I do a video every day, because I want to, you know, yeah, April is also a very busy garden month. I've had a lot of appointments. I had some technical difficulties with my camera, or my phone. So anyway, you know, pardon my being MIA a little bit more this past week or so than normal, or than I had been. Anyway, okay, so these are two pictures. I blopped out the face with washi tape. I hope you can see them. Yard, this is my favorite spot in my yard. It's, of course, in my garden, but it's one of my favorite spots in my garden. If you see the pathway, now that's all covered with mulch. It's all mulched pathways. You actually can turn left here, and there's another tunnel. I don't know if you can see the layers of tunnels. This is like in the height of gardening season. For us, that's like the end of May, beginning of, well, sometime in May. This was probably taken the beginning of June, and it was a couple of years ago. And, sorry, I had to make sure my phone was off. This is a relative and her baby, so I did not feel comfortable putting their faces on YouTube. And I'm sure you can understand that. But it was the best picture that I had that depicted that trellis. This was my garden. The first season I got to use this dream garden of mine. And this was probably a month before I got sick. And so it has not been this dreamy since then. Just because I haven't been able to do it like I did that first year. But I will again. So anyway, when it said yard, that was what I thought of. Navy, this is what I thought of. This is a picture, and I bleeped out their faces. This is my brother, and my older brother, and my nephew, his son. It was at his naval commissioning ceremony, and my brother, I say commissioning, I want to say a pinning ceremony, but I'm pretty sure it's commissioning. Anyway, when he became an officer, and my brother actually pinned him. And I thought that was super sweet, and not everybody gets to have that in their life, but I was really proud of him. I didn't get to go. It was out in San Diego, and I couldn't get there from here. So those were the first two things I thought of when I thought of yard and Navy. Now, realizing that I don't want to leave their faces bleeped out on my collage page and whatever, so I decided to back up and punt a little bit. And with that, that's what I have for Navy. And this is what I have. I just picked a pretty kind of solitude feeling, kind of what the feeling that I get in here, and you've heard the traffic noise on our road, but when I'm in this tunnel, this is the cucumber tunnel, and then that one to the left is my green bean tunnel. And that actually is my favorite place. And it's just, I can block out the world in there, and I'm just in my own little, you know, kind of feeling. Whatever. Okay, words are not my friend this morning. So those are the ones I think I'm going to, that's what I think I'm going to use in place of what, I just wanted to show you what my ideal thing would have been. I wasn't sure how I was going to use it on the page, but, and I'm still not 100% sure. I do have an idea about this. I'm going to go ahead and get it ready. Let's see. I could have been cutting while I was talking. And I am going to try, I'm hoping to make this a shorter video so that it uploads quicker than, you know, the longer ones do. Because this one I'm actually doing Wednesday morning on the day of. And normally I have it done at least the day before. One time I got it done on Monday, but, you know, we did swap prompts over the weekend, but it was Easter, and we had some family things that we did, and, yeah, so it was good. It was a little quieter than normal, but it was nice. We, usually have, well, our family is notorious for adult egg hunts. And now, granted, you know, since our mom's gone, and, you know, they say that everything changes when your matriarch is gone, and it's true. My siblings, our parents are gone, both parents are gone. And so it is different. We do tend to struggle a little bit more getting together than we used to, but we still make it happen every once in a while. But we used to do games, and my mom was a big game. She was like an activities director for a senior center, so, and at church and things like that. So we always played games at every function we had. We do like to still play yard games and, you know, cornhole and some other things that I don't know the names of. And we did play one thing, but it was also, it turned very cool and overcast that day, so it was not conducive for outdoor activities. It was very windy. And you know, it figures it's been like 85 and really hot. And let's see, I am going to, no, I'm not. Okay, so that's my anchor, and it's also navy blue. Navy, obviously navy is a color, and that would have been the easy, you know. I do have, as backup, some navy blue cardstock, which I could, you know, I could use a navy color, and, you know, it'd be an easy, oh, bummer. Let's see, I do not have my art glitter glue in here. No, I was going to use my stinky stuff, but, oh wait, I do have some just PVA glue. It tends to take a while to dry. Let me see if I can make this stick. I want to use this side. Yeah, maybe I better use my stinky glue. I just want, this is pretty flimsy, but I wanted a little bit of structure. This is just a piece of paper. I printed it off of, just printed off this anchor. You know, clip art. And, in hindsight, I could have printed it off cardstock, but I don't have a printer right now that prints off good cardstock. So it still would have been too thin for what I wanted. Ooh, I mushed that glue. Wow. I apparently pushed too hard. So let's see. Let's see how many times I can do this. Okay, looks like that is gonna stick. That is good. Uh-oh. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Pull up. Literally pull up. Okay, that is good glue, by the way. I do want it in a smaller option. I like the big option, but for gluing smaller things, I would like the smaller option. Okay, I do not have... Oh, I do have that. I guess I did not bring back in some of my tools that I have. I was making several cards this past week, and you know, my husband asked me, he said, do you video your card making? And I said, no, I don't. I have, like a year ago, I videoed like 1 or 2 maybe. And he said, you really should. They're really good. And, you know, that's really sweet. And I would like to at some point. I don't know if any of you would be interested. I did show some of the cards that I made in the last video. My intention isn't for this to be a card maker channel, but I don't see how it hurts to have a couple in there. I mean, you always have the option not to watch, but paper crafting is kind of paper crafting, right? They overlap in a lot of ways, so it might not be horrible to do that. Let's see. Okay. But I just want it to get a little bit of structure to this, because I'm going to have it hang if my plan works. I do have a plan, but we always know what happens to those plans. And let's see. Alrighty. So I had... I think I mentioned it in a video last week. I was supposed to have this root canal done last week, and it got canceled at the last minute, so I ended up having it yesterday. And this is just, it was just one more thing to add to this week, because this week was already busy. And I did not anticipate coming home and absolutely crashing. I mean, like, I crashed. I came home at like 4, and you know, I thought, well, I had PT right before the appointment, so I really didn't have a chance to actually get the video done before the appointment. I had all my stuff laid out, and I thought, well, I'll give my mouth a couple hours to unnumb itself, and then I'll come in and, you know, and make the video, right? No big deal. Well, yeah, you know what they say about the best laid plans, right? And I got home about 4, and I mean to tell you, I crashed. And I mean, I crashed. I crashed until about 9 o'clock this morning. I was so tired. And I think I've just been going and going, and my body's just not... It still has its limits, right? And I think between all the things leading up to Easter and then trying to cram a week's worth of appointments in 3 days this week. It's just, I think my body was just like, okay, enough. This is like, you know, overkill, right? Let's see, I want the hole punch. Where's my hole punch? There it is. I want the big one. There we go. But it's the only hole punch I have right here at my fingertips. So I'm just going to do it like a couple of times. And hopefully I can make something resembling sort of a circle. Well, it's close enough. I can cut around that if I feel like I need to, but hey, look, you want to see something cute? Look, isn't he precious? My husband got it for me. And he looks just like my BOGO did, except my BOGO had red eyes. And he sits right up here on my shelf, right in front. Oh, we went to, Friday. We went to I'm just going to go ahead and kind of round this out. I really didn't want it the whole size of this big circle, but, you know. Anyway, we went to Good Friday service at church, and I met, you know, when Easter, people come that don't normally come because they're in town or whatever, and a friend of ours, her sister's friend, I think, and I got to meet her, and oh my goodness, I found out immediately that she is a crazy bunny lady like me, so there is more than one of us, and B, she's an art teacher. She loves art. I'm like, I need your phone number, because yeah, I think I just met my new, well, I don't want to say best friend, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so this I thought was a cool necklace, and it actually looks like all the, well, sort of, kind of, all the little gems in it kind of remind me of all the different colors of the flowers in my yard. They're not all bloomed yet. It's a little early, but I have planted most of them. I love zinnias and cosmos, and don't think I have many flowers that are, well, I do have blue. I have blue delphium and blue bachelor's buttons, but they're not teal. I have not found, I have hyssop that's purple. I have coneflower that's more like this shade of purple. Anyway, so the point of that is it kind of reminds me of my yard a little bit. So I am going to cut her out. I do not need her, but I'm going to let her live on the page, at least for now. She's invited. I thought it would be, you know, rude not to invite her, at least, you know, to come to the party for a little while. And seeing how she is sporting this really pretty necklace, or this very colorful necklace, it's out of my comfort zone on what I would wear, but I don't have to wear it. My page does, so I'm okay with that. But I do have plans for her if she so chooses to accept them. And I'm gonna be a little fussy with this, but I'm not gonna, I don't know that I'm going to fuss with those, the insides of those heels. Let me just get started up here. Probably cutting off half of her legs right now, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm mainly trying to get it disconnected from, I don't need anything on the back. I just really need it disconnected from the rest of this page at the moment. Okay. That way I'm not having to fuss with that. And I'm gonna finish fussing with this. Anyway, so did you have big Easter plans? I figured I would talk about Easter on my page that I do about Easter, but I thought I'd ask here. There might be some of you that watch these prompt challenges that don't watch, you know, my other journal videos, which that's okay. Let's see. But I do hope that you had a good Easter weekend. You know, I know not everybody celebrates Easter, or at least they don't celebrate for the same reasons or whatever, and that's okay. But I think, you know, I think a lot of people will celebrate holidays just in their own way. So if you did, I hope that it was great, or at least good, sufficient. I did not, my daughter was not home. I am she's still traveling and out and about, living her life to the fullest. And I've had enough years when she was away at college, and then since then that she's lived away from home. So I've gotten used, I hate to say it like that, but I've gotten used to not having her. It doesn't hit me as hard as it did the first couple of years. Let's just say that. I do miss her still. So here's kind of my thought process. And I'm really just doing a fun collage. I kind of wish, and I could. That's why I didn't fuss with her feet too much. I know they can hang over a little bit, but I'm debating on whether I want it like this and have this whole necklace right here, or scooch her up and get one shoe in which case I lose, you know, the connectors to the necklace, which I don't know if that matters. But anyway, so here's where the anchor comes in my mind. Now, you know, this is just one of those crazy collages, right? And yes, the anchor is too big, but that's sort of the point. I could disconnect this whole necklace, and I thought about trying to put it back together, or I'm thinking about cutting her away from the necklace, and I could use this anchor and my twine as a necklace for her. So I'm not real sure which way I'm going yet, but either way, this is the yard I love. One of the reasons why I picked this is because, well, it's pretty. And I had to cut off part of this little path, this walkway. But I love the arbor, and these are some of my favorites. These are either black-eyed or brown-eyed Susans, also called Rudbeckia. And I love those flowers. And I have some that I've been growing they started in the fall. And so, you know, I'm toying with this idea where her feet are on the page, and, you know, this is her frolicking in the garden kind of thing, or in the yard. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I was struggling tying in the navy. Again, I could use this navy paper in the background and forget the anchor, but then that covers up my book page, and I don't want it to cover up my book page. I guess I could have just collaged this before I put it on the cardboard. I could have just collaged this behind, and that would have been okay. I'm just kind of brainstorming my idea, or the possibilities here. But I was thinking, let's see. Yeah, I need to incorporate the twine in here somehow too. And again, it kind of needs to make a little bit of sense in my brain. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be proportional. It doesn't have to be anything like that, obviously. But I need it to make a little bit of sense. So I'm either going to cut her, like, I think I'm just going to cut this section. And I might be wishing that by the end of this, I might be wishing that I had backed her on some cardboard. I'm not going to cut that totally out. I'm just going to kind of put some little slits right here. I hope I still have you in frame. Yeah, I might wish by the end of this that I had, let's see, I'm just going to cut off a section, and then we'll figure it out. Might be wishing that I had backed her with cardboard, which I have it if I need to, but I don't want to make it any bulkier than I have to. I want my knot on the front. Let's see if I can poke this through. I have a pokey tool and I have some tweezers. Let me see if I can encourage this with the tweezers without making a huge hole. Well, nope. Well, I suppose oh my goodness, I just made a huge hole. Okay, that's okay. It's okay. Uh-oh, it did tear her shirt though, but I can glue it back. Okay, let me go ahead and I might as well deliberately cut instead of just tearing it. There we go. Okay, that worked better. Okay, I want the knot up front, I guess. Well, I get, yeah, no. Yes, I need the knot up front. I almost said it doesn't matter, or it's, you know, not pertinent to the page, but it is, because that is the part that is going to unravel. Yeah. So this is kind of my thought process before I glue everything down. Kind of want to see, ooh, okay, not that tight. Yeah, I kind of want it to hang about like that. And it's just going to kind of swing. So that's my book page. This will be the unraveled part. There's my navy, both in color, and the anchor kind of represents navy, in my mind anyway. This is all open to your interpretation of things. There's a necklace, and then in respect, this is a necklace, and that's why I thought about cutting off that necklace. And I might still, but I think it's kind of pretty. I'm sure I could use it for something else, but she's kind of attached to it. And then this is representing my yard. I do have measured washi tape or masking tape. So if the yard didn't work, I would have, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be a yard, but it would be a measurement. So if the yard kind of fell through, I could use this yard. So I like to kind of have a couple of ideas. So I think I like that okay. And I still don't know. Let me bring my journal back out because I know she can hang over a little bit. Let's see. And I have not put any background on this page at all. So let's see where she falls in this. And then if I remember this time, we're already unraveling. If I remember this time, I'm going to, no, I'm not, unless I cut off Cute Little Bunny here. I was going to make it a pocket. Or I can do what I did last time and put it over here. But, let's see. It can hang over. Okay, so if I think I'm going to put that there regardless. I mean, I could bring it all the way down to the corner. It really doesn't make a difference. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. Because that I feel pretty confident that where it's going to go. There's my glue blob from a minute ago. Excuse the back of the page. Kind of got the girls hanging out there. I did cut off, or I tore off when I tore that image out. It says, ladies, you need. So there's the rest of that. Anyway, but I thought I might use the ladies in my journal somewhere. Yeah, I actually crashed so hard I missed a meeting yesterday, or a dinner I was supposed to go to with some ladies. And I mean to tell you, I did not. I was gone until this morning, and I really apparently needed the sleep. So I'm always a bit anxious going to the dentist. So I don't know if that was like an adrenaline rush and then crash, or I don't know. It's okay. It's behind me. Well, partly. Okay, I do kind of like I don't mind losing a little bit right there. I think I'm going to glue her somewhere in here. I'm going to take the anchor off. I'm going to leave the, well, it's going to make her a little bulky, but she's just going to have to deal with it. Yeah. I'm trying to think, would I like her better without the necklace? Yes. Or at least cutting off part of the necklace. Let me see what this, I'm going to fold this under and see if I like that better. Because I'm thinking I kind of like her feet in this. Normally I wouldn't care, but seeing as how that is a walkway, it kind of makes sense in my brain. What do you think? Yeah, I need to fussy cut her heels now. A little bit. Let me see if I can just do it right here without disassembling her and the twine. Ah! Well, good enough. Okay. Good enough. This one might be a little easier, a little neater. It's more square lines here. There we go. Okay, she's got that writing on that pants leg, but I probably could find a sticker or something to put there, but I'm really not concerned. Oh yeah, I already have that glued down. Really not that concerned with it. So, let's see. She's not going to hang quite like, she'll hang more like that. Well, scooch it over. Okay. I want this elbow kind of butted up to the edge of the page, so wherever that makes that fall is fine. I'm going to glue, I'm going to put glue on all of it, and then when I glue it down to the page, well, maybe not right up to the edges, but pretty close. I thought about maybe gluing this in pieces and parts, or like half and half, but let's see. I honestly think that would be harder. Must be kind of, I can always tell it when it's warm. The glue is much softer. Uh-oh, don't tear. Okay. I would like, if I can, to have the feet kind of in and the elbow up against there. So, come on, bottom half, cooperate. Ooh, that's delicate. Yeah. I do kind of wish I had backed her on some cardboard. Would have meant I had to cut her twice, but it might have been worth it. Okay. All right, I got that part down. That part. See, and you can't even tell we ripped her shirt. There we go. We're gonna have a little creasing right in around there where that twine is, but not too bad. Not too bad, not too bad. I must not have gotten, uh-oh, come here. Must not have gotten enough glue under her head right there, but let's see. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit. Not much, but that's okay. All right. So we have that. So wherever that falls, that falls. I'm going to let her shoe fall on the page, I think. There. Now we still have to tie and unravel our other necklace, our anchor. And I guess in hindsight, there's a lot of what is the word I'm trying to use? Metaphor, I think. No, that's not the word I'm trying to use. This definitely could represent something else, and that's not what I'm, you know, like being weighed down, I guess. That's not really what I'm trying to depict here, but because she does not look concerned about anything, she looks very happy. So, come on, I want you this way a little bit. Okay. And yes, now I'm going to have yet another bulky piece to write on or write over in my journal. That knot's pretty big. But I like this. I didn't want it to, you know, I wanted it to kind of be interactive. And it is. I could have put an eyelet, but I needed the unravel, right? So let's unravel. Twine usually unravels very well, especially when you don't want it to. And I could trim that down some, but well, here's another metaphor. As long as you have a good knot, you can unravel, and you're only going to unravel to a certain point, right? Wow, that got deep. Yep, there you go. The weight of the world can cause you to unravel, but if you have a good, solid, sturdy knot and foundation, you're not going to unravel all the way. Well, I do not know how to tie a good knot, apparently, so we're going to keep unraveling. Okie dokie. Now I just need to decide how I want it on the page. And let me see where we are on time. Yeah, getting close to being done here. So I still have glue on my, I think I'm, and this is where, I don't know if you remember me telling you, I had heard Allison say the best way she knew how to do it was put your thumb where you don't want glue. And that way you know which is your opening of your pocket. Well, yeah. So after just hearing that and thinking that's a great idea, I will do that. I apparently had my thumb in the wrong spot and I glued my pocket all the way shut. So I ended up with not a pocket. So let's see. Or I ended up with a pocket that opened on this front side, or the inside. This is not my favorite glue. It's probably very good glue. It's just PVA glue, but I'm kind of art glue spoiled, art glitter glue, as far as drying time. And maybe it's a good idea to, let's see, might as well have her whole shoe on at this point. Go right up to the edge there. I don't want to make it slip and slide much, because I kind of got a bigger bead of glue than I want, so I don't want it any, yeah, you know what I mean. And then I will have to trim off the fastener part of the necklace, but that's okay. Well, just don't cut your whole page off. Yeah, I could have just tucked them under and they could have become part of the other page. Actually, I think I'll do that, because they're already sticky anyway. Well, obviously I'm not folding them under at this point. I'm just gluing them. I'm letting them live there. And then I can, they're only attached a little bit, so I can change my mind later. Depends on what I do tomorrow, right? So that, I'm going to shut the glue this time. That did not clog, by the way. It's been open for I don't even know how long. Okay, so we have book page, unravel, navy, necklace in 2 different ways, and yard. So it's somebody's yard. It's not my yard, but it's somebody's yard. And she actually looks like a girl I went to school with. I think that's funny. It could be her. I think she was a model at one point. Anyway, I hope that well, let me back up a little bit. You're welcome to use these prompts. You're welcome to use the prompts that I gave Allison. You're welcome to use your own prompts. You're welcome to mix and match. Don't feel like you're taking our prompts. You're welcome to them. We're giving them to you. You can have these, as a matter of fact. Anyway, no, you're welcome to do whatever you want. You can do it on a tag. You can do it on a card. One of these days, I'm going to make a card with this. Last week's would have been really good to do that with. Let's see. You can art journal it. You can collage it. You can use stickers. You can use glue book. Do it in glue book style. I mean, because in essence, that really kind of is glue bookish. Which is kind of what collage is. So that's what I'm saying. Paper crafting all overlaps in some way, form, or fashion. And I still need to find a sticker or something to cover her up here. Maybe. And I have this handy dandy little pocket that if I cut off this adorable little bunny, it will fit in there, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So I'm just going to leave it right here. But here's our hashtag. We hope that you join in. We love seeing all of your creations. And this is just intended to inspire you. It's intended to inspire. We started this, Alice and I started this to inspire each other to create. And, you know, just to use supplies that you wouldn't normally use. I mean, you know, that's not what I would have done for today, right? But I'm glad, but you know, it's fun, just for fun. But definitely, you can follow this hashtag on Instagram. Use the hashtag and tag us, Messy Missy Creates and AJ's Inspired Life. Tag us if you make a YouTube video so that we can watch your process. And you can tag us on Instagram and use the hashtag, both places. So I know I just repeated myself, but that's okay. I think that's it for today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm hoping to get maybe one more video out this week. And I know it's been a slow week, but hopefully I'll get back on it next week. And I will see you on the next page. Bye.